Ready to go.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I am joined with Wilson County Sheriff Calvin Woodard and the Chair of the Wilson County Commissioners, Rob Boyette. We've just been over and visited this middle school. Thank God the children were not there when this storm hit. What a devastating blow to this school. Obviously, the county's already working on next steps, getting it inspected, and I just talked to the superintendent saying that we're going to make sure these children go to school and get educated, but obviously they have a lot of work ahead in repairing the school. It's also a somber time in that Wilson County lost a life to this storm. Debby has been a stubborn storm with unrelenting wind and rain, and unfortunately, it's not over yet. It's moving northwest. There are a lot of counties out in the middle of the state and out west that are experiencing difficult times right now as well. We want to make sure that all of our emergency operations are in close contact with local officials. I think that coordination is going well. Obviously, there's already been some flooding. We know that there is potential for significantly more tomorrow and through the weekend as the rivers crest. So we're continuing to check the river gauges. We encourage people to go to Fiman, F-I-M-A-N, in order to check river gauges in areas that might affect them. We also ask people not to drive through water on the roads, not to go around barricades. This is where a majority of deaths occur in these kinds of storms when people get in flood water. So we're encouraging people to also obey requests to evacuate and to make sure they continue listening to news and local officials, particularly if they live in a low-lying area. I'm going to turn it over now to Sheriff Woodard, if you want to say a word or two. Do you, sir? All right, Sheriff Woodard of Wilson County.
First of all, I would like to say good afternoon, and as always, give honor to God, Lord Jesus Christ, my Savior. Thank you for the governor, Mr. Chairman, and then also thank you for the different media outlets that assisted law enforcement as well as others for making it possible that people were made aware of this storm coming through. So I do want to thank all of you as well. We had a terrible storm that hit Wilson County, but it's been thankful by working together with our local emergency management, team out of Tennessee, Rock Ridge Fire Department, other fire departments and law enforcement agencies, the Highway Patrol, and even our local police department. We tried to minimize the catastrophes that occurred in the county. So again, we ask everyone, especially listeners, please receive running water or high areas. Just turn back around, do not go through it. It saves not only their lives, but also the lives of the first responders that may have to go in there to try to save you. But again, thank you for being here. And, we only had one incident in Wilson County, and we definitely put out prayers for that family. And, we hope that, during their time of sorrow that, they definitely be blessed and be prayed upon. So please, put your prayers out for them as well. But again, Wilson County just experienced a tough time, but we're going to get through it by the grace of God, and we're going to make some things happen. Thank you.
Everybody in this community has suffered through a lot in a short period of time. As many of you know, we had just over here on I-95 on the interstate a serious accident where 5 lives were lost. That happened just a couple of weeks ago. And then Spring Hill Church, about 2 miles down the road. We had a serious fire there. Thank goodness nobody was injured. But at the same time, it's a tragedy and has struck the community. And now today we're here to talk about a tornado that struck Springfield School, middle school. A lot of our community already feeling like they've been in a difficult situation for a while, and now this happens. that any time that a tornado touches ground, tragedy is going to strike. And so we're just really pleased that Governor Cooper had an opportunity to visit us today, to see what is going on here in Wilson County. We're so glad that he could do that. And we're really pleased with the work that Sheriff Woodard and his staff, his deputies are doing to help us through these situations that we're having. I'd like to thank our volunteer fire departments right here in this community and the ones that have come together with all of these tragedies to make it the best that it can be, which is not very good. So thank you for the opportunity to speak. The county, our staff, our people are going to support the school system and support any way we can to get this school back up and running as soon as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As always, we're grateful for our first responders and for the coordination that has occurred, and we appreciate the help that we've received from other states. We had a crew here from Tennessee helping here in Wilson County this morning. I'll be glad to answer your questions.
We're going to start on that end with Olivia.
Yeah.
What types of resources will the state bring in for the school's about to start in probably about 2 weeks? So what we can do.
Right now, we are in response mode, making sure that we're working to save lives and to get through this storm. The storm is moving through. Hopefully, it will be out of here by Friday. After that, there will be a time for damage assessment. Local officials will work and coordinate with state and FEMA officials to determine what damages are. And that is a very important time because the amount of damages determines what kind of federal assistance that we can get. The school does have insurance, so the insurance company would come and would be involved in this. In talking with the superintendent, he said that we're going to make sure children get to school. We're going to figure out a way to do that. It's amazing how devastating a tornado can be, but how targeted it could be, because the 6th and 7th grade classes over there were devastated, but the 8th grade classes were basically untouched. So I don't know if they're thinking about they would do a structural integrity inspection and all of that, potentially using part of the school once school starts. I don't know that, but these are the kinds of things that they are already thinking about, and we'll make sure that they get all the state resources and the help they need.
Next question, Fox.
Robert Ray with Fox Weather and Fox News. Thank you for being out here. Appreciate it. Your initial assessment you've given us of what you've seen overall across the state and Tropical Storm Debby moving up. What's your biggest concern right now as the system is producing a lot of different violent patterns of weather?
Yeah. This storm is unrelenting, and it moves slowly. I'm concerned about floodwaters, obviously. We still haven't seen the worst of it yet because we know that we have rivering flooding that will approach major flooding stage in a number of places. This system is still not out. There's still tornado watches out. We've seen this devastation that a tornado can cause, so we're still concerned about that. We want people to be on alert. We want people to be paying attention to their local news and local officials so that they can keep themselves safe. Preventing loss of life is the number one concern right now, and we look forward to continuing our efforts to work to give people proper warning, and our first responders are on the ready. I was in Kinston today. We've activated 274 National Guard troops. They're getting their specialized training. We've got swiftwater rescue teams placed throughout the state, strategically anticipating where they may be needed. So protecting people's lives is the number one thing right now.
Next question, Adam.
Have you seen enough to know whether or not you think we're going to be eligible for a major disaster declaration? And if we're not, what are some of the challenges of this having us more geographically?
Well, obviously, if you don't have a major disaster declaration, then you have less funding that you have to deal with. One of the things we've been able to do over the years is work with the General Assembly, and we've had separate state funding that has helped to plug the gaps that federal funding has not been able to have. I can't anticipate at this point because it's not over. We know that there's going to be more damage in the middle part of the state and out west. I would be surprised if we did not get there, but I just don't know at this point because this storm continues to stubbornly stay here and drop rain and cause tornado damage. So let's just work to keep people safe.
Next question.
Governor Cooper, can you describe OCC coming to Wilson County just hours after that storm came through? Why was it so important to be here on the ground today with that was there?
Well, I wanted to see it for myself. I always like to talk with people. The person who lives across the street from the school got a warning, got an alarm early this morning, 2:50 or something like that. He said he walked out and everything was calm. He shut the door, and then all of a sudden things sort of exploded. He took his family and put them in the pantry inside and then walked out and saw the devastation of the school. One of his neighbors' homes got hit pretty bad. His home got hit in the back. But to hear people express concern and compassion for their neighbors, the loss of life, but also to express thanks that they are physically alive, even though they may have property damage, which we know that we've got to work to address. But I think people are grateful that they've been saved. They also are grateful for first responders and officials who are stepping up. North Carolinians come together in times like these. And I know our communities of faith, our nonprofits, all people band together to help out their brothers and sisters in need. That's happening here in Wilson County. It will be happening all across North Carolina over the next few days and the next week or so.
Next question, WRL, right here.
Governor Cooper, Chelsea Donovan with WREL. You were able to actually enter the walls. We're keeping a safe distance. What struck you inside, and if you can kind of describe what you saw?
It looked like an explosion. The window was blown out. What was amazing to me were, a strong brick structure, how many different bricks were everywhere. I mean, it was... An explosion is the best way to describe it because this tornado came up and directed itself all the way through this school. Devastating damage, chairs everywhere, insulation hanging from the ceiling, light bulbs hanging. Really devastating. And then we didn't go inside, but we've been told by the superintendent that a lot of the 8th grade classes just weren't even touched, almost looked pristine.
Next question, WNCN. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know if this would be for our local law enforcement as well, but talking about that search earlier today for this missing individual and that man who was found inside of that home, are you able to talk more about that or elaborate? What do we know about this?
Sheriff, I'm going to turn that to you.
Right now, one thing, it was just a collective effort by local law enforcement, emergency management, other teams from other states, and just out of privacy for the family until we can make sure everyone's notified at this time. We're just not revealing many names or much information about it. But it was, again, a great collaboration between law enforcement, emergency management, our fire departments to make sure that we were able to locate the person that was inside the residence.
Next question, TCI.
Governor Cooper, with the start of it being just the start of hurricane season, what is this kind of, school wasn't in session today, but that's not to say it's going to be in session a month or two from now. Just what type of preparations does this just kind of give y'all moving forward?
So we've learned from Matthew and Florence. We've learned to build back in a more resilient way. We've learned that some areas you don't even need to rebuild and that we should use them to soak up flood water. I know that I have seen some pictures and gotten some reports of some flooding that has occurred, and some of the structures had been elevated and therefore were more protected. So I think that the fact that we have invested so much in building back in a smarter way is positive for us, and we'll see what happens with this storm as it continues to move through. But we've got a ways to go on this storm, so we'll see how it goes.
Last question right here.
Governor Dan Haggerty from WRAL. The White House authorized an emergency declaration. Have you spoken to them, and what would a FEMA response look like in the coming days?
So I spoke with FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell yesterday. They are with us in our Emergency Operations Center. We had a FEMA representative with us down in Kinston. They will be on the ready to provide assistance once we figure out what the assistance that is needed, and we look forward to continuing to work with FEMA.
Thanks, guys. Question time.
Thank you, guys.